Thanks for checking out my Circle.so tutorial for beginners. If you'd like to follow along, I'd highly recommend clicking the link down below in the description of the pinned comment. I am going to be starting from scratch, so I'm going to be creating a new account just to make sure you get the most out of getting up and running. So if you do want to follow along, that link is there. Once you get to the main page, I'm simply going to enter in my email address, click on Start for Free, and I'll see you on the next page. All right, so what's going to happen after you enter in your email, you just simply have to enter your name and password, and then it's going to send you a certain code to your email to simply go in, paste it in, and go to the next page. And this is going to be where you come out on the other side. It's all standard stuff. It tells you exactly what to do, but I skipped over it because obvious reasons, right? So name your community, whatever you want to call it. You can always change it later if needed. I'm just going to call it Marketing Island here. It said, how did you hear about us? It's optional. Feel free to put in something. Feel free not to, but whatever you do, simply click on next after that. All right, so what's your annual revenue? Under 25, 25 to 50, whatever it is, simply check it off. And what are you hoping to achieve with Circle? Build a new community, migrate to Circle, or I don't have a goal, I'm just exploring. So whichever one works best for you, I'm just going to go with building a new community. And last but not least, what's essential for your community? Just simply check off whatever is going to be best for you. And this one, I'm going to go with a few here. It's just discussions and courses. Obviously, based upon what you want to use is going to be up to you. So check off whatever is best for you and simply click on finish when done. All right, so here's the cool thing about Circle.so. They have a great setup checklist, and I'm going to actually walk you through just about most of this. I feel like you don't need to go through all of it, but it's definitely going to help when it comes to getting up and running. So personalize your account. We have created it. Now what we want to do is go to edit profile right here. So let's click on this section. And in case you're unsure of how to get to where we are, we're simply on the getting started section. All right, so this is going to be business as usual. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but let's say we have a profile photo. I'm going to click on upload a photo. All right, so there's a picture of me. If you want to crop it, obviously do as you will. I'm just going to click on save changes. Looks fine. There's a picture, we have our name, we have our time zone, headline in case you want to use this. It says your headline clearly, a bio if you want to add that in, location if you want to do that. Then you have website, Twitter, probably should be X now, right? Facebook, Instagram, if you want to add any of those in, you can. But this is all the standard stuff. Let's click on save changes. I don't want to spend too much time on things like, updating your own profile, stuff that's going to be very easy for you to do, okay? And let's click on X. Now we have spaces. Spaces are your building blocks of your community, where posts, events, courses, and conversations happen. You can start from scratch or choose a template to set up key spaces for you. Okay, so let's do that next. Let's do set up spaces. All right, so let's say we want to do posts, we want to do events, we want to do chat, courses, members, or images. I'm going to do maybe like one or two of these, but let's say we want to do posts. Let's click on next. All right, so I'm just going to call this Marketing Island Post, given the fact it is a post section. So select this space group right here. I'm going to go under spaces. That's where it's going to be right here, as you can see. Access, I'm just going to do open. Now it says new post notifications. Really depends on how much you want to do this. Like if you do an email and anytime there's a new post is shared, that could be a lot of emails. So it's really up to you. It's nice that they have them, but you might annoy some people if you're getting a significant amount of posts, or if you set up notification for something else that just fires very frequently. So just something to keep in mind. You can check those off as needed or as you want. Let's click on create space. All right, so share updates, ask questions, or start a discussion. So let's do create a post right here. Title, welcome. Thank you, blah, 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 so on and so forth. That's going to be where obviously you can type. If you want to add an image in, what you can do is simply go down here. I'm just going to kind of hover over these, link to a post, lesson, or space. You can attach files. You can attach a video. You can add a GIF. You can add an image. You can add emojis. You can add polls. And of course, record voice message. Let's say we want to do something a little bit different. So thank you for joining. What is the biggest thing you'd like to learn? Or what do you need more help with? Something similar to that, right? So let's do poll. All right, could have just typed it there. All right, so what's the biggest problem you'd like to solve? I'm just going to do these very quickly. Let's say like leads. Let's do sales. Let's do traffic. Just, an example. And there we go. Allow members to see results. Set an end date. I think that's fine. Let's do save. Thank you for joining. So since we have the title there, Thank you for joining. Please answer this quick poll. Okay, just an example here. Let's do publish. All right, great. And so that's going to be an example of what that looks like. So what's going to be your biggest problem you'd like to solve? Lead, sales, traffic probably could be a little bit better, but that's just an example of showcasing what it's going to look like overall. Okay, let's go back to getting started. All right, so that's designing your community overall, creating spaces. We can do another space after. I just wanted to do that one, just to kind of show you how that works. So we have community access. Decide who can view and join your community. So only invited members can join. Visitors can't see your community, or anyone with the link to your community can view or join open spaces. Really up to you. I like the private aspect of it. So if someone really wants to see what's on the inside, they have to ask and join. So that's just my opinion there, but let's go with private and do confirm. And there's also going to be the ability to establish permission structures for different member types. In the beginning, you could probably just keep it as it is, especially if you don't have any members or there's not a whole lot going on in your community overall. So that's something you can do after if needed. But if you click on it right here, it's going to showcase, choose the space groups and spaces that will be a part of this access group. So right now, there's not a whole lot going on right there in terms of having access or not having, in terms of not having access or having access. So really depends on what you add here and what you want to do overall, but this is going to be where you can change things around if needed. So I'm going to leave that as it is. If you want to set up payments, you can do that as well. So you can offer paid memberships with flexible pricing, including one-time payments, subscriptions, installments, and trials, plus built-in access control and a member billing portal. Once again, I do like how it says optional because I think this is something that's going to be a little bit better once you start getting more actual content in here. You create more spaces, you have a good idea of what you're going to need. But if you do want to go about doing this, this is going to have the learn more button right here. And this is simply going to be where you can connect Stripe. Okay, so connecting Stripe is very straightforward. If you already have an account, you can use it to log in. If you don't, you can create an account, and that's where it's going to be connecting it, where you can set up payments. So if you click right here, what you can do is connect with Stripe right here to start accepting payments with paywalls. Okay, where's your business registered? Obviously, wherever you are, simply click on continue. All right, and this is going to be business as usual. If you've ever connected with Stripe with anything else, this is pretty much the same way. As you can see, it is the Stripe website and it's connecting with Circle. So if you have an email address, as I talked about, simply enter in your Stripe account and go from there. If you don't, you can always create one and continue on. I'm going to let you do that part because obviously it's your personal information and it's pretty self-explanatory when it comes to walking through and choosing what you need to do. But that's going to be how you can ultimately connect Stripe if you want to go that route. Okay, so let's go back to getting started here, which we are already here. So now what we can do is launch your community. So invite your core members to validate your vision and spark early engagement in your community. Right now, we haven't done a whole lot to this, but if you want to do that, you certainly can. We can click on add members. And what you can do is invite by email. You can import CSV if needed. You also have the name for the email, add another member. You can assign tags if needed. Or what you can do is just simply share an invitation link like this. All right, so here's going to be the new invite link. And before we get to that, I am going to go to the access section right here. This is going to be access group. So grant space access to members who use this invitation link to join your community. Members will also be granted complimentary access to spaces defined in your onboarding settings. So if we go to the default one right here, I'm going to simply go to edit right here. And this is going to be something where I actually moved it over just to kind of showcase what it looks like. So we do access right here. And as you can see, this was previously over here. So if I go to remove this, this is probably going to be how it was before. But if I do add access, that means that when you invite them, they're going to be obviously shown the post, which is something that you want. So in case you need to, make sure you do that and do save. So let's go back over here. And it's going to be fine there. So when we go back to details, let's just give us a name. All right, so I'm going to be calling that Marketing Island Custom Redirect. You can send them to a specific space right off the bat, but I think feed is going to be fine. When you're done, simply click on create. All right, so your link is ready. We can copy the link right here. You can send an email and you can also welcome members if needed. So that's going to be how you get your links overall. That's going to be how you can start inviting people. So let's go back. And let's go to getting started. We're almost done in terms of like the basics. Now this is going to be like importing your email list. If you want to do that, if you don't have any contacts, obviously you can change that, but this is pretty straightforward. If you go to import contacts, right here is going to be where you can import your CSV. You can assign tags if needed. And if you want to subscribe to marketing emails, you can do as well. But this is going to be the biggest part of it. If you have a contact list, you can import it right there and then simply click on import contacts. And that's how you can add them in. All right, and so if we scroll down, we have this optional section right here, send your launch announcement. So you get your email hub helps you unify and manage all your marketing efforts directly with your community, reaching both members and non-members with ease. Try it up to free for 100 contacts, then upgrade as your audience grows. So if that's something you want to do, you can feel free to. I want to focus a little bit more on the terms of the community and how it looks and so on and so forth. So let's go to feed right here. And that's pretty much most of the getting started aspect of it. Now, once again, if you wanted to create a post, this is always going to be here. So it's very straightforward, very easy. I love how it looks clean, like the simplicity of it overall, kind of just my opinion there, but I think it looks great. Now, if you click on the three dots right here, this is going to see how you can add a cover. You can also add a welcome banner, and there's going to be options. So let's go with the aesthetics a little. Let's go to add cover. And I'm just going to choose a file, or maybe I'll go to Unsplash. Let's change it up. I'm going to go right here. But if you wanted to upload, simply do that and click on Choose File. And let's do Island, given the fact this is Marketing Island. Not too many. We had islands there, but then they changed. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Let's go with, this one looks fine. Okay, maybe not that one. Okay, let's go back. Let's do this one. Much better. Save changes. Just to kind of show you where it's going to be and what it's going to look like. So there's going to be that section. We have, I think that was the cover or the welcome banner. I forgot which one I clicked on. So logged in, enable for logged in members. Let's do yes. And featured image or video. You can do a video also. So that's nice. Let's do upload. Okay, so that's for logged in. That's going to be the featured image. I'm not sure if this one's going to be big enough for it to not be blurry or anything like that, but we can also do logged out. And once again, we can enable it. I'm going to upload again. Okay, description, title, pretty much business as usual. I'm going to click on Save Changes, and let's do Done. All right, and then aside from that, let's click on Options. So trending post threshold is going to be 10. So exclude posts older than this number of days from appearing in the trending post list. So you can do that even longer if needed. We have the default post sort for logged in user. We have the default post sort for logged out user. Show posts from all open spaces. Meta title if you want to go with the SEO settings. All right, so for the SEO and meta title, don't expect to rank for a crazy keyword. That would be, say, like weight loss community or something like that. But if you have a unique nickname, it might be something that people search for and see. So it wouldn't hurt to do. There's going to be the meta description, pretty much just talking about what your community is all about. Open graph title right here is going to be the customizing it if empty. We'll just use the community name, so that's fine. Same thing with this if you want to replace the images, but a lot of this are the very minor details, not something I would worry about too much. I think these are more worth focusing on if you want to change these, and then these two sections right here. Click on Save Changes when you're done, and done. All right, so now as you can see, this is going to be like the main cover. We have the banner right here. We have the welcome post and so on and so forth. And spaces are a very big part of what Circle has to offer. So if you do want to make any changes, you can do see spaces, see members, add members, or edit space group. Let's click on plus and let's do create space. We have events, we have chat, we have course, members, and images. I'm going to go with chat here because this is a nice little feature. Let's click on next. All right, so I'm just going to be calling it Marketing Island Chat. This is going to be in the spaces. Once again, you can do access, open, private, or secret. It's really up to you. For this one, I'm going to do open just to change it up. And in terms of message notifications, these you might want to keep off. You know, it really depends on how aggressive you want to be with this. Because if you're in a chat room, just think about how many chats are going back and forth constantly. Like that could be a lot of notifications. So something to keep in mind, just kind of want to, you can pick based upon what you want. But I'm going to go with create space right here. All right, and here we go, as the Joker says in The Dark Knight. So this is just a simple chat room. It's great because it's live. You type in a message, you get it immediately, and you can just go back and forth with anyone else who is going to be in here. So that's going to be a specific space also in the community. I think it's fantastic that it also gives you the option to do that. If you want more of the Facebook post where people can comment on it, or if you want more of the live chat where if you have a lot of people in here, keep in mind it could get a little rambunctious. Okay, it's going to be like a Royal Rumble in wrestling. It's going to be hard to contain all these people just, shooting messages and questions back and forth, but that's a good thing if you have a lot of engagement and people in there. That's one of those problems you probably want to have. Okay, so that's going to be the chat section. Let's go with add. So this is going to be the last feature I talk about. I feel like a lot of the things I did mention are a lot of the ways to get up and running, and this is probably the biggest aspect of it I haven't talked about yet, which is going to be courses. So let's click on course right here and then next. So we have self-paced. A course starts when a member enrolls. All content is available immediately. Aside from that, we have structure. Course starts when a member enrolls. Sections are dripped relative to their enrollment date, or scheduled. Course starts on a specific date. Sections are dripped relative to that date. I'm just going to go with self-paced here. This is going to be a situation where you enter in content and then just immediately they can dive in. It's like a buffet. They can skip around. They can go here. They can go there. They don't have to wait. It's really up to you the type of course that you want to create. But for this one, I'm just going to do self-paced and click on next. All right, so I just call this the Marketing Island Method course. This is just an example. Once again, it's going to be in the group where the spaces are, okay? And the space will be created in draft mode, and you will not be visible to your members. You can update access settings after you create your space. Let's do create space. All right, and so here we are, the course dashboard. This course is in draft mode. Engagement data will show up here once you publish your course. So some of the biggest things to know is you can click here if you want to do it. If you want to add the lock screen, you can copy the URL, edit labels, export comments, students, and quiz results if you use any. And before we click on editing lessons, I do also want to showcase this right here. If the access in the draft and publishing it, that's going to be where you can do that. We have space links, lessons, paywalls, customized mobile lock screen, members, options, workflows, and so on and so forth. If you don't like this, if you create something that you want to remove, this is going to be where you can delete it as well. So now let's go on to edit lessons. All right, and what's great about this, it is fairly straightforward to create a course. You have sections, and within each of those sections, like anything else, you have lessons. So let's start with a section. And let's say this is going to be called the introduction. All right, and that's fine. Let's save that. And now what we can do is add new, and we can do a lesson. So anytime we create a section, adding new is what we want to use. These are going to be in this specific section. So let's do a lesson right here. And I also like calling it intro. Usually that's what I'll do. So if I have an introduction section, like the lesson in this is also going to be called intro. And there might be a few other things like an unannounced bonus and so on and so forth, but we have that. And now what we can do is click on click on edit. I was looking at draft and I said that. So, all right, so this is going to be where you can drag your video or audio file or embed from Vimeo, YouTube, Wistia, Typeform, and more. So if we click on upload or embed media, all right, so if you are going to be using a video, I highly recommend just uploading it, which means you have the raw file, you go to your computer and you do it just like this. For example, if you go to embed, and let's say I'm going to put in a YouTube video, so I'm going to copy one that I have, one moment. All right, and I pasted it in. I'm just going to do embed media. All right, so that's going to be an example of a video. Clearly, this is from YouTube, so the idea here is that if this isn't a course and you are playing a YouTube video, there's going to most likely be ads. And a lot of times what can happen, your customers or just your audience can be seeing advertisements for your competitors. I don't know if that's something that you want. It's just something to keep in mind of. This is also a big reason why Circle can be so much better than, say, Facebook groups. There's so many less distractions. And by less distractions, you're not getting advertisements from your competitors. You're not getting people poaching your customers, your clients, and your audience. Hopefully, but this kind of just comes back to the same thing here. If you're going to be embedding YouTube videos, there is the aspect of the advertisements that's going to be distracting them. So it's just one thing to keep in mind. And I showed you how to do it if you want to upload a video. So it is very straightforward. Now, this is going to be where you can type, which I don't need to do that. That is business as usual. The biggest thing I want to showcase here after I delete this is that you're going to want to do a / as it shows right here for a command. So let's do /. And now you can see Copilot is more going to be like the AI thing right here. So if you want to do that, there is going to be the business plan. I don't specifically have that. This is going to be a trial, right? So a fresh account, but if that's something you want to utilize, that is there. Let's go back /. So we have paragraph, headings, numbered list, bullet list, block quote, divider, quotes, emojis, buttons, and we could add more images, files, audios, PDFs. So if you want to utilize any of these right here, you can certainly do that. But very easy to do. Okay, that's going to be the aspect here. We can enable featured media. We can enable comments. If you want to turn those off, you certainly can. And let's say we just want to do published. We can do that. Let's do save. And also there's going to be files section right here. So if you want to add files, you can upload them as well. That's usually something people want to do in courses. So I wanted to point that out. It's very basic. Click on add file, upload it. You're going to be good to go. What we can also do is just view it. So let's take a look at what this looks like. All right, so you are previewing the course as an enrolled member. Looks pretty good overall, and I know it's a picture of me. I'm not saying that I look good, although I do look good, okay? Let me have a moment here. So it's pretty standard, pretty straightforward. When you complete the lesson, you would go to the next one, which we only have one, but overall, that's going to be what it looks like. Let's go back. All right, so I don't think I need to do too much more here because it's all about adding sections and lessons, right? So we can actually go through the settings on the top here. And if you want to add another section, once again, business as usual. So this could be, blueprint explained. This is going to be the main section. And of course, adding new, what we would do under that lesson. Quizzes are pretty straightforward, but what I want to do is go across so we can show you how to customize it as well. All right, so we have the Marketing Island Method course. This is going to be in the spaces. If you want to hide the space from the sidebar, you can do that if needed, but this is going to be where we actually publish it. So it's actually kind of hard to see. I don't know if my computer is very light, but the open button is right here. It took me a few moments to first originally find that, but if you want to keep it open, you can do that. There's private, there's secret, there's course topics. If you want to manage those, we have a thumbnail. Why not? Let's go ahead and upload one very quickly. All right, and clearly I need to work on my thumbnail skills. That's actually not too bad. I'm just going to use that. You can see like the actual dimensions of what it's going to be, so you don't get a whole lot to work with. That's why it's called the thumbnail, but I will use that and click on Save Changes. Excellent. And everything else, in case you wanted to change that, let's do Save Changes right here. It says your course space will be open. Once published, you can access settings at any time for new members, though you won't be able to revert to draft mode. I think that's fine. So that is something to keep in mind. If you don't want to go into publish yet, you can keep it as is, but just to kind of showcase how it would work, I'm going to do publish space just because it's a brand new community. Like no one else is going to be seeing this at the time. All right, so now that we are here, what we can do is Axis is going to be open. We can go back over here with Edit Lessons, and we were at Customize. And now what we want to do is go to Paywalls. So once again, this is going to be connecting with Stripe. This is going to be the same thing that I talked about previously, where if you had done it before, this is going to be where you can do that as well. All right, so with the mobile lock screen, it says this is only visible to non-members viewing this private space in mobile apps or on web if no lock screen landing page is selected in the Customize tab. So for this, like with the banner right here, we can click right here, banner heading, course name, the description, and of course, buy now. Pretty straightforward, right? I'm going to go back there. And if you scroll down right here, it's going to be a very similar. We have paywalls and calls to action. There is going to be a website builder if you want to use that. As talked about previously, this is going to be where it is visible. So if you want to make some edits to that, you most certainly can. I just wanted to make sure that you are aware of it overall. And I'm going to click on Save Changes. All right, and we can go over it one more time. So what I want to do here is click on the three dots. I'm going to do View Course. And of course, a lot of courses there. We can click on Start. And this is going to be the introduction. Remember, we didn't have too much going on there, but once they are done with that, you can click on Complete Lesson. And completed. Congratulations, you've completed the Marketing Island Method course. Obviously, just one section there. I didn't do too much because as we talked about, creating sections is easy. And once you do that, you just simply add in each of the lessons within each of the sections. And that is going to conclude this Circle.so tutorial for beginners. I hope it helps you out when it comes to getting up and running with the basics and the fundamentals of what Circle has to offer. And of course, if you are new to this and maybe you're just watching it to see how it works, be sure to click the link down below in the description of the pinned comment and you can follow from square one and get up and running hopefully as quickly as possible. My name is James. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy.